Morning all, John here for a Tuesday, believe it or not. Early this week, late last week. What are you going to do, eh? Anyway, this isn't a video I had planned or even thought I would do, but I've got some news for you about Holbein. If you want them, you need to get them now. Well, it's an absolutely dismal day in my part of the world, in the UK. Raining, dull, absolutely awful. But I've got some good news for you. I did a review, I believe some time ago now, of Holbein Oil Pastels and how good they are. And I'm going to show you them again because it's all part of this information that I'd like to give you. It turns out that Holbein are having a good sale. Now, in the UK, Holbein oil pastels are actually quite hard to get a hold of, and in my case I had to sort them from Japan, and that caused complications in itself. Anyway, I paid quite a lot of money for these in Discovery Japan, and I also had to pay some customs tax, importation tax, whatever it is, I don't understand it. So they actually ended up costing me quite a lot of money. But I've got some great news for you right now in the UK and further afield. So because this video is all about the Holbein oil pastels, it would be silly of me not to actually just go through what they're all about. Now, as you can see, my set is well used now, and I did the picture that I'm about to show you in them. I know you've seen it before, but it's still worth a look to see what these can do. Now, they come in this beautiful, really beautiful wooden box, and even when you've used the pastels, you're going to want to keep this wooden box. And you open it up, and it has two trays. One of them trays is another really solid wooden tray, which again you'll want to keep when you've used your pastels up, which would obviously be some time. And the pastels come in these plastic trays. I'm not going to say that's my favourite thing, but for some people they like that. And I actually had one subscriber who's actually trying to source little plastic trays like this, and I did send something over, and I hope that that helped. But they slip on like that, and you can keep them in your colour groups if you really want to. Now, the one drawback I had was that they didn't have any coverings on them, so I made coverings out of post-it notes, the smaller type, and I hold them usually in the middle like this and colour. So that's remedied that. But as for the actual pastels themselves, shall we see how they blend? So I'm going to choose two colours. I'm going to choose a darker shade of green. Now I'm going to choose three colours, and a lighter shade of green, and just for contrast, a light shade of yellow. Well, it's not that much contrast, but there's a bit more. So I'm going to colour on here. I'm going to not waste paper, so I'm going to do it over the top of this, if that's okay with you guys. Now, it's not the warmest day here in the UK, so these can get a touch softer than they are right now. But they're a really firm, solid oil pastel. And they are slightly on the harder side. They are more towards the Caran d'Ache type of hardness, but possibly even a little bit harder than that. However, they do blend, and they are soft enough to blend. So when I say they're hard, you get a lot of control with these, but you also get the softness and the creaminess with them. So let's just apply some of this pastel. I mean, it's going on there absolutely silky, absolutely brilliant, and it just feels, oh, lovely and silky and kind of waxy underneath your hands. Now, that said, I can tell you that the Holbein oil pastels are made of wax, paraffin, refined mineral oil and pigment, so that's where you get the waxy feeling from. So I've decided to stop that and I've decided to actually colour on a fresh piece of paper. So I want you to get the full effect of these. So here we are, I'm colouring on with this, and it's a very silky but very firm feeling. Firmer than the Light Wish, firmer than the Caran d'Ache, but equally as blendable. And with these you could probably get some quite nice details as well. So I'm layering them on there. The hardness bizarrely reminds me of the Pentel oil pastels. Don't let that put you off though, because these are far superior. Oh, I just broke that one. That's what can happen if you hold them in the middle and pressing a little bit too hard. And the reason I'm pressing too hard is because I'm trying to get it done quickly for you guys. Normally I put light layers on, as you hopefully know. So I'm going to blend that, and these are blending out an absolute treat. As I say, they are on the harder side, but you're getting a really lovely soft blend with a very flat uniformed look to them until you add on your other colours. You can actually add some really beautiful layers with these. Look at how they're blending. Look at that. These are right up there as my favourite oil pastels. And they don't have to be soft. Oil pastels are not always good just because they're soft, and I think people really need to look at that. So when I get to here, I'm just going to change over to a cleaner side to get that blend a bit better, so it doesn't come down too far and I get the progressive blend I'm looking for. But look at how good that is. That it's an absolutely brilliant blend and an absolutely fantastic layer. Now you can add more layers on, you can get this looking a lot thicker. Impasto is not going to be the easiest thing to do with these pastels, but many times people are looking for detail anyway. And there's no pilling going on whatsoever. They blend beautifully with your fingers if that's the way you want to go. I don't hardly ever do that. But look how they're just blending out. You can just play around with these for ages. We're now starting to get some, but then is that any wonder I've really gone to town on it? That looks a mess at the moment, but obviously I've played with it. They do blend, they do layer, they are beautiful oil pastels. They are well worth every single penny you will pay for them, and at the moment they're on sale. We'll get to that. So I hope you liked that recap on the Holbein Oil Pastels. Now I'm going to talk about how you can get them cheap. So as I said, Holbein are having this sale, and it turns out that one of the only places you can get them in the UK is Jackson's Art. Now I will say that at the moment they only have the smaller sets and the larger set is out of stock, but if you just sign in, or put you want to get notification and sign into I don't know, some sort of account like I did, they will give you a notification when they're back in. And I would like to think that Jackson's would stick by the price that they are when you are asking for notification. That I can't say for certain, but you'd like to think that they'd stick by that. But they do have the smaller sets, and they're all on sale. Currently in Jackson's Art they are £191 and a few pennies. Now that is a substantial decrease of probably around about £35. So if you want them and you're in the UK, I'd get in there now. Ask for that notification. I'm even considering buying another set. Further afield at Discovery Japan, which is where I got mine, they're charging £161.12. However, there is quite a large fee on that for delivery. I think I paid in excess of £200 when I bought them, so that's a £39 decrease at the very least. But they do have, for us in the UK, a £52 delivery fee, which is extortionate. I don't understand that, but that's what that is. So even then, you're getting them for less than you'd buy just the oil pastels on a normal day. But there is another art supplies at Japan, and they are called Art Supplies Japan. And this is the best deal I've seen so far. I think you'd have to look into it if you were in the UK a bit better. But they are £176.15 and free delivery. That's amazing. If I could get them for £176 and free delivery, I would bite your arm off for that. Please believe me, these are really good pastels. They do have their drawbacks, which I've mentioned in previous videos and probably in this video by now. But yeah, if you want these Holbein Oil Pastels, I think now's the time. Now really is the time, because I don't think you're ever going to get them any cheaper than this. I don't know why they're going so cheap. Maybe they're discontinuing like Holbein did. Who knows? But like I said, if you want them, I would go and get them right now. So anyway, I hope that's brightened up your day. It needs brightening up with this dismal weather. And until next time, whomever, wherever you are, please have a great day, great week and a great year. And be kind. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.